want to protect law enforcement, but your principal, the president, pardoned every single one on January 6th. It rings hollow when you say these words, that if you spit on a police officer, we're going to go after you. Talk to my friends who are Capitol Police officers who were here, 5 of whom are no longer here. They are dead. And this
What happens when Democrats finally lose control in the Senate? They attack Trump's team and expose their own hypocrisy on live TV. That's exactly what we saw in this explosive hearing, a desperate attempt to smear Attorney General Bondi and, by extension, President Trump himself. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because here we cut through the noise and tell the truth about what's really happening in Washington. Now, let's get into it.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Ranking Member. Thank you, Ranking Member. Thank you, and welcome, Attorney General Bondi. I just wonder, sincerely wonder, do you hear how hollow your last words sound in light of the pardon of all of the January 6th people, day one of this administration? I believe you're sincere. You want to protect law enforcement, but your principal, the president, pardoned every single one on January 6th. It rings hollow when you say these words, that if you spit on a police officer, we're going to go after you. Talk to my friends who are Capitol Police officers who were here, 5 of whom are no longer here. They are dead. And this administration, and I guess I want to ask you, did you have any advice for the president when he came forward with the blanket pardon on January 20th? What advice did you offer the president?
I am never going to talk about conversations, advice
Were you asked
in any
for,
way.
Were you asked
I'm
for
never
advice?
going to talk about discussions I've had
Because
or have not had.
You'll remember,
I can answer with the President of the United
yes or no?
States.
Did you give him any advice, yes or no?
I am not going to discuss any conversations
That's
that
a no.
I have had with it.
And
you just put
your
words in
own
my
word,
mouth. I am not going to discuss.
No, I'm going to reveal your own words.
I am
Just
not
a moment.
going
Please
to
stop.
discuss
Please stop. This
conversations
is my
that
time.
I've had with the President of the United States.
Attorney
you asked
General,
me a question.
I would like to reclaim
and
the
you
last
asked
20
me to
seconds.
answer.
I have asked to reclaim my time. Please put 20 seconds back on the clock.
You have an extra 30.
If the general,
She answered and then answered it again and answered it again with a non-answer. I ask for your consideration
if the
of
gentle
putting time
lady
on.
will let the witness answer the question, we will.
She answered it by saying no. Okay. The 3 hallmarks of this administration are incompetence, corruption, and cruelty. I'm going to focus today on corruption. And in my mind, there are 2 types of corruption: personal, and then the other I'm going to call public, governmental. Attorney General, have you ever been registered as an agent of a foreign principal under the Foreign Agents Registration Act?
I assume you're talking about when I represented the country of Qatar for a very short time.
The answer is yes. No, excuse me. No.
For anti-human trafficking for the World Cup. Anti-human trafficking
or
for the
no?
World Cup.
Attorney
you can't
General,
put words in my mouth.
No.
You want to talk about incompetence? You're the one that
Excuse
said Joe Biden on PBS was competent. You had to retract those words.
Mr.
So don't
Chairman,
talk to me. Don't insult me publicly.
this is so discourteous. This is so outside the committee's guidelines. Taking a personal shot at me while swiping at Biden? Very strange and very unprofessional of you. The answer is yes or no, and the answer is yes. You were registered as a lobbyist for Qatar. Is that correct? Yes. Never mind. Don't answer. Did you disclose that when you went before for the Senate for confirmation? Yes or no? No, it was not in your documents. The answer is no. President Trump.
This was discussed at my confirmation hearings in detail.
It was discussed, but you failed to bring up the conflict that you had. President Trump recently announced he'd accept that $400 million Qatar airplane because it was just prettier than the one he was flying around in. Is it true that you gave advice that this was legally permissible? Yes or no?
I will not discuss any advice that my Office of Legal Counsel gives to the President of the United States on any matter.
when you spoke before the Senate, you said you would ask for ethical advice. Did you recuse yourself from that issue?
And talking about unprofessional, you say the president wanted a jet because it's pretty?
Excuse
Come
me.
on, this is a Senate, this is a
He said it
congressional
himself.
hearing.
He said it himself.
The hearing started with a senator thanking the chairman, but within seconds, he went straight for Bondi. Instead of focusing on real issues like crime, inflation, or border security, he launched into another political witch hunt over January 6th. He accused Bondi of hypocrisy for defending law enforcement while serving under a president who pardoned the January 6th defendants. But here's the truth. Those people weren't violent criminals. They were Americans who felt betrayed by their government and wanted to be heard. When asked if she advised President Trump on those pardons, Bondi refused to play their game. She stood her ground, reminding them that private conversations with the president are just that, private. But the left didn't like that. The senator got hostile, reclaiming his time, interrupting her answers and ranting about incompetence, corruption, and cruelty. It was pure political theater. And then, the smear campaign went deeper. They accused Bondi of being a foreign agent simply because she once represented Qatar on an anti-human trafficking initiative for the World Cup. Imagine that, attacking someone for fighting trafficking, all because she worked with Trump. Bondi stayed composed, calm, and professional. Even when the senator threw in a wild accusation about Trump accepting a $400 million jet from Qatar because it was pretty, she didn't take the bait. She reminded them that legal counsel to the president stays confidential. Period. At the end of the day, what we witnessed wasn't oversight. It was political theater. A Democrat meltdown, driven by jealousy, bitterness, and an obsession with Donald J. Trump. If you're tired of the hypocrisy, the witch hunts, and the endless Trump bashing, hit that like button and subscribe. Because here at Liberty Watch, we stand for truth, justice, and the America that puts we the people first.